now where the lights are bright. The fans are there most every night, but I still can't forget the small town boy who showed me where to find real joy in the big leagues. Joy in the big leagues. Somewhere tonight on the road to fame, there's a small town boy sharing Jesus' name. He's on his way to the big leagues. Up in the big leagues. Up in the big leagues.
Tonight I hope we do look at something and maybe some of our beauties and miracles that God gave us in a different way. And especially, I think everybody here knows how special each and every one really is. But I want to talk about, tonight we're going to share some memories, some things. First thing I want to just tell you about, Friday morning. I got a call early Friday morning. I had to go up to Carter's Lake to unlock a car. And going through the mountains, man, everything's starting to change. It's starting to get green again. Things are coming back to life. And, man, you could just see how beautiful of a world God gave us. You could. And made you realize I felt so close to God Friday morning. I just stopped and pulled over and prayed up there. I felt so close to God that He made something so beautiful as just the trees changing the world for me to look at. And I got thinking about, how real God is by just seeing the seasons come back around. They say global warming, this, that, and other. Let me tell you something, guys. The weather changes twice a year, from summer to winter, pretty much, basically. And it does it because God planned it that way. Because God planned it that way. The vegetation comes back around. It gets warmed. It starts raining. We produce crops for us to eat on. And then we have the winter time, which we enjoy. We get snow cream. He gave us 4 food groups, snow cream and vegetables and other stuff. But I got to think how real God is. And anyway, for years, people thought the earth was flat. Up until the year 1492, they thought the earth was flat. Till Columbus sailed around, they thought, well, if you go off to the edge, you're going to get over there past Old Man Kelsey's woods. That's the edge of you're going to fall off the earth. You're going to fall off the earth. But Columbus sailed around the world in 1492 and proved that the earth was round. Or did he? In Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 22, talking about the Lord, it says, He sits above the circle of the earth. Now, they didn't have satellites and telescopes and all this imagery back then. It says He sits above the circle of the earth. Talking about God sits above the circle of the earth. My question to you tonight is, who told Isaiah that? Melinda, you ought to who told Isaiah that? God told. That's right. Thank you. God told Isaiah that. Guys, God is real. God is real. He's as real as it gets. I don't think there's anybody here that doubts that tonight, but sometimes I just get to look around and realize, man, how real He is and how much He loves us. But looking to the mountains the other day, it's really neat. Anyway, we'll get started. 3 or 4 weeks ago, I'm sure you guys saw this in the news. Parker keeps up with the news a lot. Chuck keeps up with the news. But anyway, there was in Utah, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, there's a little baby trapped there's a car upside down. Has everybody seen that in the news? Most of you guys, I hope you have. We're going to think about some things that happened there. There was a car upside down, submerged for 14 hours. Submerged upside down for 14 hours in cold, freezing water. 3 cops get there first on the scene. They're dispatched, and there's a group of first responders come right behind you. Kathy knows about first responders. But there's a group of first responders come after them. These 3 cops are running down towards the car, and they hear an adult female voice screaming, "Please help me. Please help me, help me." They get down with the other first responders. They all rush around and they turn the car over. There is a female in the car. She's been deceased for 4 hours. However, there's a little baby seat in the back with an 18-month little girl named Lily in it. And they got Lily out of the submerged water, and they felt she had a faint pulse. She had a very faint pulse. They started treating her, took her to the hospital. The mother was sadly deceased, but she'd been dead for 4 hours. They found out when they found the time of death on it. But the little baby was freezing. She's suffering from hypothermia, suffering from shock. But she's fully recovered now. But all 3 of these police officers will tell you they all heard a voice screaming, female voice screaming, "Help me. Help me, come help me." And so when they get this on the news, they've got these people, I'm sure they know much more about me, these Einsteins, who are going to explain this voice. They had one lady offer up what was the perfect storm for this baby to be alive. Let me tell you something, guys. A kid being submerged upside down in a car in a baby seat for 14 hours underwater is not the perfect conditions to sustain life. I'll promise you that. It just ain't. But they've tried to explain this voice all these different ways, and they ain't come up with nothing good yet. But church, let me tell you, I can tell you exactly. I can tell you exactly what that voice was. See, God's still in the miracle business. God is in the miracle business. And tonight, looking through this church, it's evident that God's in the miracle league business too. He is. He's in the miracle league business, guys. So tonight, let's look at miracles briefly, and then let's look at some of our miracles. You know, the miracle they tell us is something man can't do. It's definitely an act of something more big than us, more capable than us. You know, one of my prayers when I get overwhelmed, I say, God, this is bigger than me. You're going to have to do it. But a miracle, you know, is it's something bigger than us. In the Gospel of John, chapter 4 and verse 48, Jesus said to them, unless you see signs and wonders, you will not believe. And he was speaking about miracles. The first miracle he showed us was changing the water to wine. We know that, so his mother, friends wouldn't be embarrassed. But God showed so many Christ did when he was here, miracles to us. And he still shows them in today's world. Psalm 77:14, the psalmist David writes, you are the God who performs miracles. You display your power among the people. Let's go back to the earliest of times, though, in the book of Numbers. God told this to Moses. He said, but as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord, because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles. He's talking about when he created the world back here in all these parts of the Bible. We have seen his miracles. Guys, isn't it wonderful to look out and see God's miracles every day? To see God's miracles. To know that he gave them to us. But anyway, let me tell you guys, parents, caretakers, if you play the role of a parent or whatever you do, I hope you get a lot from this message. If you only get one thing, get this. Psalms 127:3. It says, children are a gift from the Lord. Our children are a gift from the Lord. Last service, we had Miracle League last year. Gary kind of left off with, he was talking about Franny. He was talking about Franny. And you know what Gary said? He was dead on. He said, man, if you ain't got no, he said, if Franny don't make you smile, you ain't got no smile. And I think everybody that's ever been to the Miracle League will testify that is true. Man, if Franny don't make you smile, man, you ain't got no smile. Gary hit it down on us. Let's just pick up from there. Let's talk about Franny. Franny, what all does Franny do up there? Man, Franny, how many hot dogs do you eat per game, Franny?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4.
3 or 4 or 7 sometimes?
3 or 4.
Franny, first of all, it's always, I'm going to see how many hot dogs Franny got. I always look forward to things. Franny singing, like he just did here, man. I look forward to hearing Franny sing, because that's a blessing, to get to hear Franny sing. It really is. You know what else Franny does? I got some pictures online. When it rains, it comes a rain shower, my seat's going to be wet. Franny's out there with a towel when I first get there, trying to give me a place off to sit down. Franny knows I lose my voice, and some of y'all are probably thankful for that. I lose my voice up there. But, you know, by the third game comes around, my voice just started to crack stuff. Franny's always on it. Get me a water or a Gatorade. Ask me what I need. Always run it to me. You know, man, that's a blessing from God. It's a blessing from God. Let me tell you this, guys. You know, God talked about Franny in the Bible. He said, Proverbs 17:22, a joyful heart is a good medicine. I think God had Franny in mind when he gave us that verse. A joyful heart is a good medicine. And it truly is, guys. It also says, Job 8:21 says, he'll fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouting. I can hear Franny tell me, turn that music up before I can hear it, me, James. Turn the music up before I can hear it. Turn it up loud. But Franny will give you a joyful heart. And if he don't make you smile, guys, like Gary said last year, you ain't got no smile if Franny don't make you smile. You know, we call it happy chaos. There's a young lady who's not here with us tonight. She's on the way to Florida. They're going to destinate the Chip. Her name's Peyton Hicks. Share you this. I'm glad Chip's here tonight. Thank you, brother, for being here. Part of this is going to mention you and what God shines to all of you guys. You know, my heart belongs to the Lord. I think I make that obvious and clear every day, about 8,000 times on Facebook. And anybody wants to know it, yes, my heart belongs to God. But there's a special part of my heart that Peyton Hicks owns. You know, I introduced her as my sweetheart in the Miracle League, and she is. She's one of the most wonderful, beautiful, amazing young ladies that God's gave this world to be blessed with. She really is. You know, last year she had some surgeries, and I want to touch on this. At the Shriners Hospital for Children in Greenville. Guys, support those Shriners hospitals and the work they do for those children. It's amazing. So many of our kids can walk because of our Shriners. They're getting treatment because of our Shriners. And Chips, thank you, brother, for all y'all do with that. But, Peyton's had several surgeries through the years. This year, something's different. The cast came off and her legs were straight. Millie put a picture, and I broke down crying. And I cried. And I jumped up down and ready to show my mom a picture of it. I said, look at Peyton's little legs. They're straight. And I was crying and screaming and rejoicing. Amen. And they're straight as a board, guys. You can't go to John's Lumber and get a 2x4 them straight in her legs when they came out of them casts, I'll tell you. And man, that's God showing his work through one of our miracles in Peyton. That's God showing his work shining through her. And I was hoping Peyton would be here tonight. And she told Millie, Peyton's got a pretty good sense of humor. Peyton told Millie when she stood up straight there, said, you got 2 daughters taller than you now, Mom. She shared with her, said, no, me and Paige both going to be taller than you, Mom. She's got a sense of humor. She really does. And I probably ought not tell this, but 2 years ago, I told Peyton, I said, well, Peyton, I got there early and I hugged her, always give her some flowers. I said, how's school been lately? And Peyton said, not real good. But I said, well, what's wrong? She said, they've been giving me a bunch of tests. I don't like it. I said, well, just tell them I said you don't have to take them. So she went and told her teacher that I said that, and Chip, I'm sorry, I'm trying to watch myself better. Everybody knows me, knows I mean well anyhow. But thank goodness it was Mandy Alderman, somebody I'd known forever. And Mandy called me later asking me, did you tell Peyton? I said, I sure did. I said, sure did. But anyway, man, our kids are a gift from God, guys. 127, our children are a gift from the Lord. But a lot of our kids, they go through a lot of therapy. It's hard. Peyton does. The verse I had for her, not Philippians 4:13, when she thought she couldn't take one more step in physical therapy. Remember, you can do all things through Christ, which strengthens you. Each and every one of you guys, as you go through the things you have to go through in life, as you have challenges physically, or whatever you face, remember, guys, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. When they say you can't take one more, when you say I can't take one more step, yes, you can. God's going to give you that strength to take that one more step. He really is. A lot of our kids go through a lot of sickness issues in the hospital. I'll give you Matthew 4:23. It says Jesus went throughout all of Galilee. It says he taught in the synagogues. He preached to the kingdom. But the wonderful part of that verse says he healed all manner of sickness. He healed all manner of sickness, guys. So guys, don't ever give up hope. Christ's miracles still happen everywhere today. Like that little girl upside down that cart lived 14 hours. Suspended in freezing cold water. Man, he's a God of miracles. He can do anything, families. There's hope. There is hope. But anyway, I was going to say, is a crazy man that has a microphone there and runs around doing all my antics and all the wild, crazy stuff I do. I've given a lot of our players nicknames. Bo knows baseball's here, Bo Simmerly. And Bo does know baseball. And Bo's awesome. Bo's a blessing. Man, to see Bo run around those bases and rejoice, man, you'll rejoice, won't you guys? You'll rejoice. You sure will for the miracle that God gave us in Bo. Some of these players right here tonight had Cool Hand Luke. We give some nicknames to them. I'm going to get to some of the way these nicknames derive. Some people give themselves nicknames, 800 of them. We're going to talk about some things tonight and introduce some people. But I kind of nickname all our players. Have Cool Hand Luke, Luke Hope. The Nature Boy Baseball. He's right here tonight. The Queen of Chris, McKinsley Cordell. Look at it. There's a young man here who's going to be in the record books forever. Hunter the Hammer Cooksey, nicknamed him the Hammer. After the very first day, he's the first one to hit one out of the park. Forever, he will be in the record books of the Whitfield Miracle League, the first one to cleanly hit one out of the Miracle League field. Hence the Hammer. And I think Hunter's mom will tell you that children are a gift from the Lord. The Raging Cajun, the franchise player of the Miracle League, Franny Melisong. And I used to call him Melancone. It's Malancone. They finally came over and told me, said, we're from Louisiana. It's Cajun. It's and I never learned how to say Melisong. I finally got it now. But the Raging Cajun, the franchise player of the Miracle League, Franny Melisong. I call him the franchise player of the Miracle League because I'll be honest with you guys, it wouldn't quite be the Miracle League without Franny. It just wouldn't, would it? Like Tim Park said, it would go on with, if I wasn't there, he made a very nice post about me the other day. Thank you, brother. Thinking of me. But I think about Franny that, the Miracle League would be there without Franny, but it just wouldn't be the same without Franny. And his antics, his running around, his getting me a water, his singing, and all the things that Franny does to put a smile on our face and put joy in our hearts, like it says in Proverbs to do. Here we go, Tim Parker. Let's take a minute or three to brag on Tim for a minute. You know, Tim is the, let's just go ahead and start with the bad stuff. Tim's the first player to ever be, and the only player to ever be ejected from a Miracle League game. The only player to ever be ejected from a Miracle, brought a loaded bat, bought it from Tim Jenkins. Of course, I had nothing to do with that. But Tim was ejected. Chip, poor old Chip, had a hard decision to make. Chip had to throw him out. He caught him with evidence. They was super balls bouncing all over the ball field out there. They went flying everywhere. Tim took off running, trying to get to first before Chip could throw him out. Chip had to go chase him down and eject him. But let me tell you something else about Tim Parker. Tim loves the Lord. Man, Tim loves the Lord. I'm going to get serious in a minute. But Tim, first of all, he is the first player to ever be ejected from a game. Let's give him a hand for that. Like I said, I have some fun. I have probably more fun out there than anybody. I probably do. You guys know me. And the first nickname he ever got was the Ace of Stolen Base. I gave him that one. I was sitting there. Tim was on first. They was getting ready to set the ball up on the tee. And all of a sudden, Tim's just taking off, motoring down through there. He's rolling down there. I'm like, what's he doing? And it finally dawned on me. I said, he just stole second. Later on that day, he stole 4 hubcaps, 2 ladies' purses, and 1 guy's wallet. But no, in all honesty, Tim was the first person to ever, he brought the stolen base into play in the Miracle League. Just like Hunter's forever going to be in the record books, Tim's going to forever be in the record books. That's the Ace of Stolen Base. Man, that's awesome. Tim's a pretty sharp cookie. He thinks a lot too. But he was way ahead of me on stealing second. I'm like, what's he doing? He took off. Right. I'm like, finally that dawned me. He stole second. And man, that was awesome. That brought a new excitement into me. So now I got everybody looking for it when he gets on base. And Chip's checking his bats out closely this year. Chip's got a template your bat's going to have to fit through, Tim. You better get Jenkins on the ball making something better than he made you last time. I can tell you that. But you know, nicknames. Tim's His Excellency the King of England, the Ambassador of the Miracle League, and he is the ace. He is the ace of stolen base in my heart. Always will be, man. He brought an element to the game. Tim's one of our miracles that you can just see God through. He does a lot of work at his church here and there around town. Tim truly loves the Lord, and it's a blessing to have Tim Parker as a friend. It truly is, man. I love you, brother. Let me share another story real quick. We have Mr. One Take, Jerry Bruce Hennon. Jerry Bruce Hennon was tonight. I'll talk to him in a minute. Let me tell you, there's a young man, and when he came in tonight, I didn't know if he'd be here tonight. And I'm rejoicing in this that he's here. His name's Bullet Bob Previs. Last year was his first year with us. Bullet Bob's got his hand back there. Let me share this story with you, though. Bullet Bob hit one out deep center field, clear out of the park last year. And I thank God I got to see that. What's so special about me getting to see it? Well, Bob didn't get to see it. Bob can't see. And Bob reached down and felt that. And I'll tell you what, if you want to see God's wonderful works, you should have been there that day to see that young man, Bullet Bob, hit that one out. Let me tell you, in the Gospel of John chapter 9, Jesus' disciples passed a man without sight. And his disciples asked him, said, Master, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he be blind? And Christ, I'm sure, looked at him lovingly when he did this. He said, neither his parents nor him sinned that he be born blind. He's this way so the glory of God can shine through him and show through him. Bullet Bob Previs, last year, man, I got those chill bumps that you only get when the glory of God shines. When I saw you hit that out, I thought I was going to lose it. Man, I'll tell you what, another miracle that we thank God for is Bullet Bob. But the glory of God shined through him so big last year. You had to see it. It was just a miracle in front of our eyes. And God's saying, look here, guys, you're worthy of seeing a miracle today. And Bullet Bob's going to deliver it for me. You know, that was an amazing thing. You know, let me go back. I forgot to say something. You know, we call our kids, they label it special needs. And I guess that's right. Is that right, Chip? Special needs? Now, I ain't real politically correct. Y'all know that. I think a good way to look at it is special wrapped. It's just special needs. Special wrapped gifts from the Lord. I think it's a wonderful way to look at all of our wonderful players. It's special wrapped gifts from the Lord. Let's go back and pick on Parker a minute. Actually, let's rejoice in Parker for a minute. How about let's do that? You know, besides Belinda, she's excluded, and Tim's mother and his immediate family are excluded. Who could tell me Tim's favorite part of the Bible? Bible trivia for 200 points. Tell me your favorite part of the Bible, Tim. Luke 15, the prodigal son found in the Gospel of Luke chapter 15. You know, and I think most people know the story of the prodigal son, but let me just if you don't, let's catch up to today's land. There's a man, and he had two sons. He's a very wealthy man, had lots of property, lots of cattle, lots of wealth. He's a very, very wealthy man at the time. He had two sons, each one entitled to their part of his fortune. One of those sons at a young age wanted to just take his cash and go hit the road. He wanted to go hit the road, but the father said, you can have it. Wished him luck, sent him on off. The other one stayed there to work the farm, still work the land with him. But the young man went out and he bought him some friends, per se, let's say. You know, in the world you can buy friends for a while. So he went and lived it up high on the hog, they should say. He ended up back working for people slopping hogs before he finally got to a place called brokenness. And when he got to that place called brokenness, he realized something's very important. There ain't but one place to go, but to the Father. When you're broken, there's only one place to go. It's to the Father. But he went home to his dad. And the story teaches us something. And I always think of Tim with unconditional love. It teaches us unconditional love. When he returns home, I'm going to read it. Verse 20 says, but when he was yet a far way off, his father saw him and had compassion and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. Verse 22 says, the father said to the servants, bring forth the best robe and put it on him. Bring a ring and put it on his hand. And put shoes on his feet. It says, bring hither the fatted calf and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. And Tim's favorite verse is 24. For this my son was dead, but he's alive again. He was lost and he's found. They began to be merry. Tim was clinically dead at one point in his life, too. I'll share that. He was alive. He was dead, but now he's alive. We also see Tim's life is a miracle that's in front of us today. We can rejoice that miracle. There's a lesson, too, in here about unconditional love. And unconditional love is just something that God gives us, man. We certainly don't deserve it. But, you know, when we look at our kids, especially Wrapped, they exhibit an unconditional love that we can't exhibit, that we're too evil to, we're too full of sin to, that we're just too dumb to on the biggest part. They show us an unconditional love like God talks about what unconditional love truly is. Each one of our players show it in a different, specially wrapped way. It's truly amazing. Jerry Bruce sitting here, not Mr. Showtime, Mr. One Take. He's not here tonight. Last year, you know, Jerry Bruce wrote a little thing on Facebook. I don't know if you saw it the other day, but he's on Facebook talking about how much he loved God. Jerry Bruce is going through a lot of health issues in his life. He has a hard time. They struggle. But last year on my birthday, I felt a great love, Jerry Bruce. Last year, I turned 26. And I better not lie here. Exodus chapter 20 says, thou shalt not done it, preacher. I better fess up. Last year, I turned 46 years old. When you get to be that old, you don't really get presents anymore. Last year, I got one. The material things don't really matter. You come to more where you get things from the Lord at that age. But last year on my Facebook page, a video pops up and it's Jerry Bruce singing happy birthday to me. It's the only present I got for my birthday last year. And man, it was awesome. I felt Jerry Bruce's love. And to see that young man singing happy birthday to me was a miracle and a gift from God. God shined through Jerry Bruce on a day. It was my special day. And said, I love you through Jerry Bruce to me, unconditionally. Really quick, guys. Jim, Red Sox. I get to spend a lot of time with Jim. And Jim's an amazing young man. Jim teaches me about the Bible every time I'm around him and about unconditional love. If you have to get on to Jim for something, tell him to quit, he'll get a little mad for a minute, but he'll come back and tell you he loves you and hug you. And he'll teach you about what unconditional love really is, guys. He teaches how not only wonderful it is to try and give it, but to receive it's very wonderful, to receive unconditional love. And each one of these kids, guys, when we're up there, all the people, the coaches, and I think we've all received. I know Luke, when we talked to Luke one time about it, when we were interviewing the promo last year, Luke said, I thought I would come there and teach them how to play baseball. He said, they've already taught me much more than I can ever teach them. Coach Kathy's shaking her head. Kenny and Ginger. You know, there's so much to learn from these wonderful miracles that God gave us. There really is. There's so much to learn from each and every one of them. You can see how powerful, how real, how extravagant in love, and just how special God really is. And you can see that He is God each and every day you're up there at that miracle field. It's truly amazing. And I told you I was going to be short. I'm about done here, guys. We've got some food to eat in a minute. I hope you came to be fed in two ways. I hope this message has fed you a little bit. And we're going to have some good food here in a minute. Before I let Gary Lewis here say, speak of that unconditional love that our miracle leaguers have, that they give to this world. There's another unconditional love I think of. It says, for God so loved the world, He gave His only begotten Son. Whoever shall believe in Him will not perish, but they will have an everlasting life, Lord in heaven. I don't think there's no greater love than the love of the Lord. LaCroix Auto Sales, 800 McFarland Avenue in Rossville, Georgia, where we have easy financing, small down payments, payments as low as $50 a week, a large selection of late model and old school used cars. At LaCroix Auto Sales, we buy cars too, also offering used car parts, tires. Our inventory changes daily. LaCroix Auto Sales, offering you cars, trucks, and SUVs. Come on out to LaCroix Auto Sales, 800 McFarland Avenue, Rossville, Georgia, 423-645-7402. Dalton Vacuum and Power Tool, locally owned and operated at 207 West King Street, downtown Dalton, Georgia. Meeting your complete vacuum needs. Selling both residential and commercial vacuums, backpacks, central vacuum, shampooers, and steam mops, along with all supplies including belts, bags, filters, rainbow fragrances, specialty shampoos, factory and custom-made shop vac hoses, attachments, and all hard-to-find parts. We sell and repair the Amish-made heat surge heaters. Open Monday through Thursday, 9:30 till 5, Friday, 10 till 3. Dalton Vacuum and Power Tool, 207 West King Street, downtown Dalton, Georgia.
Thank you for watching our service tonight. I'm Pastor Gary McPherson at Agape Baptist Church. We're located at 165 Bettis Road in Chatsworth, Georgia. I'd like to invite you to come out with one of our services and be with us. We have our worship service on Sunday morning and at 11 o'clock. We have our Sunday school at 10, and then we come back and meet that afternoon for our evening service at 6 o'clock. We have our prayer night service on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. We love the Lord, and God bless you, and come be with us sometime.
What can wash away my sin? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can